Welcome back, everyone, to another Eat Speed Live, the most delicious streaming show in the Metroplex. I'm Bud Kennedy.
And Steve Wilson.
We are talking today about a restaurant that's been open a year in Fort Worth. The people who talk about it either really love it or say, "What's that again and where is it?" It's Crystal Springs Hideaway, is on the west side of Fort Worth, Roberts Cutoff Road and White Settlement Road in the River District. It's a 100-year-old home that's been converted to kind of a three-level restaurant, dining, beer, food, coffee, wine emporium, and has this giant patio in the back for all your fall outdoor, beautiful day dining. Maybe a little beer drinking too, if you like. But with us today is Shanna Granger from Crystal Springs Hideaway. Welcome, Shanna.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Shanna, I kind of tried to describe it. And how do you describe Crystal Springs?
Gosh, well, my husband JD and I are the owners of the Crystal Springs, and we kind of put a little bit of everything that we love into this venture. We love a good burger. We love good cheese and wine. We love good beer. We love a good beer garden. But the building itself, the house that you mentioned, the 100-year-old place, built in 1925, it really kind of brought the vision together. JD always puts me on camera because he say I show better, but he's really the visionary behind it. But when we talk about it out loud, it's an Austin style beer garden. It's casual. You can bring your dogs. It's German beer table set up, but we do have a nice indoor cocktail bar, a wine shop, and a cheese and charcuterie shop to have something for everybody. So you've got great outdoor seating, live music, and then you have a great cocktail bar if you want to come in for a old fashioned or an espresso martini for a nightcap.
Now, Shanna, you've talked about great long tables and a great beer garden and great bars and great drinks. And we do need to talk about food. So let's talk about the dinner menu, the lunch menu there. And you have Big Cat Burgers serving what they call big messy burgers. So talk us about Big Cat.
Absolutely. So Big Cat Burgers have been around since 2017. They were actually in a food truck. Mike Sugg and Bryce, they both worked in food industry somewhere or another and had decided to give that up and go in a food truck for themselves. And they've been doing that for a number of years, getting all kinds of awards for their burgers up there against the big guys in our city. And they ended up, after moving around to different places, they ended up getting a kind of a permanent spot over in the near south side near Hot Fusion, and really built a big following over there. A lot of where they had a QR code and people could get their burgers from the apartments. But what we loved about them is they were consistent. They were in a truck, but they were there all the time. So people got really used to having them there. JD and I were working on this vision for Crystal Springs Hideaway and a venue. And we're not back of house people. We like to leave that to the people that know how to do it and have that passion for the culinary side of things. And we had been looking for somebody that might be ready to jump to a brick and mortar, and talking to Trey's Chowdown and a few others in the community. And then frankly, just going over to the truck and having a burger ourselves, we absolutely fell in love with the team there, their product, the quality of it. We kind of put out a proposal. They bit. They were ready to go to brick and mortar too. So now it's Crystal Springs Hideaway featuring Big Cat Burgers, which they have a lunch menu as well as a dinner menu.
Let's get those burger pictures up.
Yeah, they've added salads. They have appetizers. You can make any of the fries also fries into a burger fry. So they have a chicken sandwich, a BLT, a variety of options. But they've really brought a neat aspect to the event. So a lot of the people coming to our place, they're coming for the burgers. They love Big Cat.
Steve, was there a burger that caught your eye?
Well, I was looking at these fries in the middle. I didn't, at first I wasn't sure what I was looking at, and you can see the fries sneaking out at the side. That's a lot. Is that their burger on a fry, or?
Yeah, that was actually, they call it the brute fries. The fries made brute style. They're smothered with diced 6-ounce patty, bacon, jam fat infused cream cheese, onion, jalapeno bacon, and jalapeno cilantro buttermilk ranch. Those are fantastic.
Steve, they have delicious French fries. I got to tell you, I think it's some of the best French fries I mean, this kind of beer garden experience, big burgers and great fries in a sprawling beer garden. Shanna won't say this, but I will. This reminds you of kind of the old Fred's before Fred's moved, the kind of big beer garden with big burgers experience. And those fries are really, really good. They have a burger, Shanna. I was looking at the menu. I need to come back and try this burger that's cheddar, pineapple, and jalapeno. Have you tried that one?
Yeah, the tiki burger.
Yeah.
It's a big favorite. It's a little different. So you think that, it might not be a seller because it's a little on the different side, but we have a lot of customers that come in for the tiki burger. If you like that flavor profile, it's really neat. Some people come in and they just want the classic cat, and that's Big Cat does it well. Sometimes people go, I don't want all that fancy stuff on it, and they just want the classic. So that's probably the top seller, but they do have a variety of some specialty burgers that people have really became fond of.
And then they have grilled chicken sandwiches too, and some other options.
Yes, their BLT is my personal favorite. I always get their BLT. It's big, it's plentiful, lots of bacon on it. And then the grilled chicken sandwich is also real popular.
Now, and that's lunch and dinner 7 days a week. Big Cat serves.
We're all the same hours, and we're 6 days a week. So we're Tuesday through Sunday. We open at 11, and we close at 10 on weekdays and midnight on weekends, and then 9 on Sundays. And we just added a espresso coffee shop, so we do open for coffee now at 7 a.m. to 11 every day that we have regular business hours, Tuesday through Sunday.
We're talking with Shanna Granger of Crystal Springs Hideaway and Big Cat Burgers. 113 Roberts Cutoff is the exact address. It's west of downtown Fort Worth, just off White Settlement Road, right behind the new McDonald's there. There's a McDonald's at Roberts Cutoff in White Settlement, and there's a 100-year-old house behind it. It's named Crystal Springs. Well, I'll let you tell them, Shanna, what the name Crystal Springs comes from.
Absolutely, Bud. So the Crystal Springs name comes from the old Crystal Springs Dance Pavilion and Swimming Hole. It was located about a few hundred feet behind the house that we've renovated into the restaurant. And it was early 1920s when it was its heyday. It was really the birthplace of Western swing music. So Bob Wills and Milton Brown, a lot of those guys, they all got their start there. So it turns out the house that we've renovated into the venue was there. It was lived in. It was the owner there was very kind of the artists that played there, kind of had an open door. People would come over and have dinner at her house. And even Bob Wills rented out the front room, which is now the wine room, and stayed there occasionally when he was playing, when he was kind of the house band at that time. So her family came in multiple times and given us pictures of the place where what it looked like then and now and stuff. So we're going to do a display there in the restaurant that talks about the history. But Crystal Springs Dance Pavilion was very popular at that time, and we have some photographs, some black and whites up talking about the pavilion there in the bar.
So this is as traditional Fort Worth as you can get. Steve, we talked about the beer garden and the burgers a lot. Do you have a picture of the front room? Because I want to try to make it clear to people that it's bars, beer garden, and burgers in the back, but it's also wine and cheese in the front. So yeah, that's the back, the back patio. Do you have a picture of the?
Yeah, that's the front from Roberts Cutoff.
Oh, that's the Roberts Cutoff side. Okay, the front room is the wine and cheese and charcuterie, and that's some of it there. And so do you sit in there and have one of the little wine and cheese platters, or is that something you take out on the patio?
You can take out on the patio, Bud. So the concept is it's very, we want it to feel very comfortable, very, very casual, but with a great quality product. And you'll see that from the burger side and from the cheese and charcuterie side. The wine shop, you come in and we have over 130 labels. We've tried to get some unique wines, some things that you don't find case stacked at Tom Thumb, but also some familiar labels too for those that are just learning, novice on wine. We have great price points. Our markup is about half of what a restaurant normally is. So we're going for volume. We want people to come, they grab a bottle of wine. They can do a build your own cheese board where they go and pick their own meats and cheeses. Our chef, she's actually one of the chefs over at the lead chef over at Nonatada on Magnolia in South Fort Worth, or the near South Side, and she's put together a great list of cheeses and meats that you can pick from. But she also designed some preset boards. So if you don't want to take the time to pick your own meats and cheeses, you can pick a preset board. We also have that pictured was the chili crisp house-made hummus, burrata cheese, so some very various kind of cheese shop snack type items. So it's great because if one person from your party is in the mood for a burger and a beer, but somebody else wants a cheese board, we have both. And the build your own is a great option because you can pick your size. So if you just want one for yourself, you don't want a big giant $50 board, you can get a 1 to 2 item board for yourself, and you just pay by the amount of meat and cheese that you put on it. So it's real affordable. Or if you want a larger spread for a group to share, a good Sunday fun day, wine afternoon or something, you can do that as well.
Can you get any food with the coffee in the mornings? Do you have croissants or jam or anything in the morning?
We do. We have just a variety of pastries and croissants, a ham and Swiss croissant, and some things like that to go along with the coffee in the morning. So we have, espresso machines. We can do Americanos, lattes. We have house-made syrups. We've got Jackson, who was the previous manager at Ascension Coffee. He was kind of put together our coffee menu. So our thought is that we've got a great space. It's large, so we're a good spot if you're trying to bring a group or a community group, or you want to have a meetup. We'd love for you to come, grab a coffee and hang out on any one of our beer gardens or our side patio or at the bar, and enjoy your coffee and in the outdoors, the trees, especially coming into fall. It should be a really nice setting.
Now, Steve was saying he's looking for a place to do some knitting. You have a place he might do that?
Maybe if they'll drink some beer with us.
Okay. I'm sorry. I think that was Susan wanted to do some knitting.
Right. Susan wants to find a place to do some knitting.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you see in all this, Steve? What looks interesting?
Well, I'm always up for a good burger, and it looks like you have like steins of beer, so that's good. But that's probably what I would shoot for, that. And then if I was knitting, I'd probably go for the wine and cheese.
Big Cat was really ranked one of the best burgers in town when they were in their mobile concept. And so you're not going to miss out if you go to Crystal Springs for a burger. I know we have all of our legacy burgers in Fort Worth, but Big Cat is, you can look online at how many reviews there are, how many people have gone, hundreds of pictures and reviews already in just a year being open. And you can see how much fun people are having.
And
Shanna,
can I add something to that regarding Big Cat
Sure.
and their burgers? One thing that I'm learning too on the backside of things on how the kitchen works and all that, but I've been very impressed with how fresh their ingredients are. They're really big about having everything be fresh. So no sealed veggies, vacuum sealed veggies, no frozen pre-made patties, no bag sauces. I mean, they really make everything fresh. So they even at one point we had the only frozen thing on our menu was chicken strips for kiddos, and we actually took that off the menu. It was slowing down the kitchen, and it was the only frozen thing. So it's been a fun thing as far as the entrees go, having something at that quality. It just makes the experience that much better. If you're in the mood for just sitting out on the patio watching live music, drinking beer, but then you also get a great burger, it's just a win-win.
What do you feed the kids instead?
So we do have a couple of options. We have a grilled cheese. We also have the classic cat burger. And that's one thing too that I think is unique about that Big Cat has done. Food is just expensive right now. I mean, it's not the restaurants, it's just the market. And they do have two options. They have a little smashy. You can get a 3-ounce smashy in any of the burgers. And that way, if you're just wanting something on the lighter side, there's a price point there for a smaller burger. So I think the little smashy for the classic cat is just $9. And that's all day, every day, all the time. And then if you want the full size burger, you can do that in each size. So I think having that smaller option is also unique and a great deal.
Now, I do want you to tell us a minute about this other upcoming event that you're part of. You and JD are presenters of the Fort Worth Oktoberfest. that comes up on September 25th through 27th down in Trinity Park. And I want you to talk a little bit about Oktoberfest. And I looked on the website. I see the dachshund races are at 1 o'clock Saturday. I don't see the food menu. So we're on the food show here. So tell us what food you've got at Oktoberfest.
Absolutely. So one of the things that we tried very hard on in Fort Worth Oktoberfest, as you said, Bud, is at Trinity Park, September 25th through 27th. And we've tried very hard to recreate what you might see in the original in Munich. So lots of big tents, different areas, different experiences. We do have an air-conditioned beer hall. And then the tent you see on the right on that picture, that long tent, which is actually expanded this year, that's our food house. So we do all German food. You're not going to find pizza or barbecue at this event. It's all German. So we have Sigi sausage. They are our main big kind of entree, and you've got some pictures there of their sausage. They're actually out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, but they distribute their sausage to a lot of the German restaurants here in the DFW area. And so they have, sausage where you can get it on a bun, or you can get it as a plate with the sauerkraut, as well as schnitzel and the potato pancakes. So they have a restaurant, basically a restaurant on site with all of your favorite German things there. We also do strudel. Of course, you couldn't have an Oktoberfest without a pretzel. We have a pork chop on a stick, which I can't pronounce it right now, but we do have the German. There it is. If you're looking for something protein, when you do go to Munich, a lot of the dishes are, proteins, meats and things like that. The other thing that's common in the Munich beer halls is the big, their cheese and charcuterie board. So when you walk into a beer hall in Munich, they'll line the tables with long, boards that have kind of their version of a cheese and charcuterie, which I think they call Kassebrett. And we have the same thing where you can go to our booth and get a box that has your sausage and your cheese and your grapes and your things like that. So if you just want a snack, and to go along with your beer, you can do that as well. So this year we did add a secondary food area. We added another beer garden, the Polaner Beer Garden, and we have a secondary booth over there. So if you're in the food hall or you happen to be on that side of the festival, you can grab a quick bite there, or you can go onto the food house where there's more seating and variety.
Steve, I've been to Munster German Fest and had Pagel sausage. In the West, you have Nemecheks or whoever has them now. But I don't think I've heard of Siggy's. But all this food looks really good. Steve, that pork chop on a stick looks like something. It looks like it's big enough for you and me.
Yeah, no, it does look like it's a good size. And is that a roll or something with it?
Yeah, it's just a dinner roll. Just kind of adds a little bit to it, but yeah, and you showed a picture of the beer there. That's another thing. We do all German beer. So Polaner is our sponsor of this year, and so we'll have a number of the Polaner beers on tap, as well as Hackershore. Both Polaner and Hackershore were two of the original breweries in Munich, and they both host two of the big beer tents in the Munich Oktoberfest. So we're very excited to have them on site. I know this is a kind of foodie beverage show, so we do have a cider if somebody is gluten-free.
Oh, good.
But we have a lot of German beer options, so only German beer options. So that you're not going to find a Miller Lite or a Michelob Ultra out here. It's all German beer.
I'm glad you mentioned the cider. Do you know the hours offhand on the 25th through 27th? And I just tell people it's next to the Van Zandt Cottage in Trinity Park. But do you have
Yes, sir. It's right across from Farrington Field, right near that Van Zandt Cottage at the corner of University and Trail Drive. We're close walking distance to, there's parking at Dickey's or parking at Farrington Field. We open the gates at 5 o'clock on Thursday and Friday and close at 11. And then we open at 11 a.m. on Saturday and close at midnight. I'm sorry, we close at midnight on Friday and Saturday.
And
all the information can be found on our website at fortworthoktoberfest.com. That's one of our performers there. That's actually the Happy Hour Oktoberfest band. They come all the way over from Munich to play several of the festivals in the States, and we're lucky to be on their tour here. And so like I said, they bring a lot of fun and authenticity and dancing. And so get ready to get up, have a good time if you come out to Oktoberfest.
Well, perfect. This has been a lot of good food. We've talked about Fort Worth Oktoberfest with Shanna Granger, and mainly we've talked about their restaurant and beer garden and bar and wine, cheese room and burger place and everything else in the world. Crystal Springs Pavilion, 113 Roberts Cutoff Road on the west side of Fort Worth. Steve, anything else to cover?
No, well, this is kind of, I actually played the piano key accordion. I used to, when I was younger, I used to play at Oktoberfest here in Fort Worth.
Probably
All
back
right.
in the convention center days.
That was back when the German beer they served was Lowenbrau, I remember.
Yeah, and there was like a roll with the sausage in it.
Yeah, it was brewed out on the south side, but they called it a German beer. So that was a great event, and that's a lot of what the Grangers have tried to evoke, some of that spirit of the Fort Worth Oktoberfest of years gone by. Well, Shanna, thank you very much go ahead.
Oh, but I was just going to say thank you for having us. And you mentioned earlier in your comments about, the old Freds and some of the old joints. And my husband, JD, as you know well, Bud, he's the visionary. He's the creative one. He's the one that saw an old house and made it into what it is at Crystal Springs Hideaway. But one of the things that we looked at was a lot of the old joints have sort of had to go away over the years in Fort Worth. So we wanted to bring something back that had that Fort Worth, that character, that joint feel, but then still had a modern take with TVs and Wi-Fi and all on one ticket, things like that. So I hope that whoever's watching this, I hope you guys come out and check us out. We put a lot of heart and soul into creating something that we think is special for Fort Worth.
And we still have Freds too, but
we do. We still go there all the time. So
yeah, I tell people that some cities, they talk about San Francisco, the Cafe Society. Some cities are built around coffee bars or wine bars or whatever. I tell people in Fort Worth, we have sort of a dive society, and I think that Crystal Springs, certainly fits the quality of being a first-rate dive with a lot of good, comfortable food and drinks and atmosphere. So. Thank you, Shanna Granger, very much. Thank you for being our guest. Until next time on Eat Speed Live, I'm Bud Kennedy.
And Steve Wilson.